All right, Coach. I'm not sure exactly what you would call it, maybe a bye per chance. You played 3 matches last week and 1 match, or 2 weeks ago, and then 1 match last week against UTPB. Started off homecoming day with a 3-0 sweep of the Falcons. Talk to me about that match as a whole and kind of how your team responded after that first set the way they did.
Yeah, Permian came out with a pretty good game plan. Took us a minute to adjust to that. We weren't super efficient offensively in the first set, but we responded pretty well, and kind of kept them on their heels for the rest of the match. We came out, I think the second set was 25-8. We played pretty well. And, you never really know what a team's going to do. You can watch as much film as you want, but then they come out and do different things. You have to make adjustments, and we did. And I think the biggest adjustment was set 2. We came out, and I made a mistake. I put kids in the wrong spot on the floor. And you have to in volleyball, it's not just go where you want to go. Like, you have to maintain your positioning based on who's next to you and who's behind you, like front row, back row. And so we managed that, and we played really well. I said, man, maybe I should just put the wrong lineup in all the time. It seems like we played pretty well. And but they were very flexible and very eager to kind of figure it out. And so it was a good day. We had a lot of alumni in town. It's the only football game we've been home for this year. And we had Clayton Bowling. He was awesome. He cooked for us, across the street for Ram Jam. And we don't get to enjoy that very often, but it was good. It was a really nice weekend.
And you mentioned accidentally putting your players in the wrong positions, but it ended up working in your favor. Is that something you're going to consider this week in practice going forward?
No, it is not, because it was a lot to manage, and because it's you put people in certain spots in certain ways so you can be efficient offensively, and they know where they're going. Well, if they're not quite sure where they're going, there's a lot of guesswork. But they handled it pretty well. It was nice to see them handle it well, but it's not something we would like to do again.
Gotcha. I had to ask. And going forward, how confident are you that this kind of performance is sustainable against other opponents?
Well, everybody's different. We play a really good Texas women's team, and then turn around and go and play another rival, Dallas Baptist, the next day. Both are at places that are tough to win at. So it's a challenging week. We've got to make sure that we're locked in on what we're trying to do. We were in the weight room this morning, did a great job. We came ready to go, to get prepared for this week. So I'm looking forward to seeing my team compete. I guess that's what I'm always looking forward to. We try to, it's coach speak, but it's 1-0 is the day. I can't think about Saturday before Friday. So we're locked into what we're trying to do, and just trying to get better every day.
And things have gone your way lately. You've made easy work of opponents. Just what's worked best for you, and what still needs the most improvement going forward?
That's tough because it's opponent by opponent. Some opponents they try to take away certain things. I think our middles are scoring pretty efficiently right now. Our right side attack is doing well. We're starting to locate the ball a lot better. Our setters are doing great stuff for us. So it's just a continual improvement. We can't peak in week 2. We gotta it's a gradual. Sometimes there's some plateaus in there, but we're continuing to get better, and that's our goal. So as long as we keep doing that, I'm a pretty happy guy.
Coach, played a rival on homecoming. Just talk about the energy from the crowd and how the girls were feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a rivalry in volleyball as it is like in football right now, but they have beaten us in the past, so we didn't take them lightly. We came prepared, and they have a new coach who drives them pretty hard, and so they came out ready to go. And so it was, with homecoming, with a lot of people here, we always have a lot of people at our matches, but like with some alumni here, we had some recruits on campus. It was a good environment, for us to play in, and I think we took advantage of it.
You said already mentioned it just a second ago, but Texas Women's brings a talented squad to the table. What's the key to victory against the team?
It's the same for everybody. Mostly, our first contact has to be great. We've got to serve the ball well. We've got to put them on their heels, because if they're a really nice offensive team, if they're in system, if they pass well. So we got to make it harder for them to be in system, and I think that's true for just about anybody, but them especially, because they've got some talented attackers, some kids that have been there for a while, and some new kids as well. So it starts from the service line. Can we apply some pressure from the service line? Can we handle the balls that are coming at us and serve receive and give ourselves good looks? So every match is going to kind of be a blend of that, and hopefully we'll be prepared.
Going along with that, the road is where it seems to be your team's has the most struggles as a whole. They're currently 3-3 on the season. What do you have to do, and what's the message to your team going into these two matches against some very tough opponents to try to come out with the victory?
Yeah, pretend like you're at home, I guess is the best way to do it. It's all about controlling our side of the net. It's not because crowds are one way or another. You're in a different environment, you're in a different space. We've got to get used to that space quickly, and handle our side. That's really the key to all of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
You as well.